You can debate for hours about this topic, and as you can tell by the title, it involves Eli Manning and whether he belongs in the Hall of Fame or not. Here's where Manning ranks amongst the greats in terms of passing. 7th all-time in passing yards, 8th in passing touchdowns all-time, and 6th all-time in passes completed. Eli's name is with some of the greats on that list, whether it's Dan Marino, John Elway, or Warren Moon. And by the way, all three of those names are all in the Hall of Fame themselves. So here's the pros for having Eli Manning in the Hall of Fame. Durability, especially in the NFL, which is huge in this sport. You can be a great talent like Josh Gordon or even Bo Jackson, but injuries or off-the-field issues can get in the way of that. Eli Manning currently ranks 2nd all-time with 210 consecutive starts and never missed a game between a period from 2004 to 2017. That number would have been currently 230 consecutive starts if it weren't for former Giants head coach Ben McAdoo putting an end to that streak by benching Manning in 2017. Unfortunately for Eli, Phillip Rivers is only 3 games away from passing Manning on that consecutive game-started streak. Next, let's get into his playoff performances. Manning wasn't in the playoffs in every season, but when he made it, he played at his highest level. Eli has 12 games played in his playoff career, and his stats look like this. 2,815 passing yards, 18 passing touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 234 yards per game, 87.4 quarterback rating, and a record of 8-4. At the end of the day, all that matters in sports is winning championships, and Manning did that twice. He's one of 5 players in NFL history to win multiple Super Bowl MVPs as well. Not to mention he beat the greatest dynasty in sports twice on the biggest stage in sports. Of course, there was the 2007 Patriots who came into that game at 18-0. In his first Super Bowl against a team that nobody gave the Giants a chance against, Manning threw for 255 yards and a pair of touchdowns. He took the field with 2 minutes and 39 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, trailing 14-10 and having to drive 83 yards to beat arguably the greatest team in NFL history. As we all know, Manning, with the help of David Tyree, put together one of the most clutch Super Bowl drives in history en route to winning his first Super Bowl. 5 years later, in 2011, Manning had his best season ever and one of the better quarterback performances for a full season that I've ever seen. And he didn't have much help either. Pro Football Focus ranked that 2011 Giants offensive line as last in the league, and the Giants also had one of the worst rushing attacks in football. Their defense did get hot at the end of the year, but that team was riding on the back of Eli Manning. In the 2011 playoffs, he went on to beat the 15-1 Packers and 49ers on the road to make his 2nd Super Bowl. Once again, they met the Patriots, and once again, he had to lead the Giants on a game-winning drive in the fourth quarter. As we all know, Manning led the Giants on an 88-yard touchdown drive with 3:46 remaining, including one of the best throws of his career on a 38-yard pass dropped in the bucket to Mario Manningham down the left sideline. Only 3 teams have beaten the Patriots in their 9 Super Bowl appearances during the Belichick and Brady era, and Manning did it twice. So based off his longevity, durability, and elite playoff performances, you most certainly have an argument to put Eli Manning in the Hall of Fame. But of course there are 2 sides, and now we have to ask ourselves why he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. The first thing that stands out is his career record. Manning currently sits at 116 wins and 114 losses as his career record, and if he has another losing season in 2019, Manning's career record could fall below 500, which is not a good look for a potential Hall of Famer. There are the turnover arguments as well. Manning led the league in interceptions twice and had 8 seasons of 15 or more interceptions. All of those interceptions took a toll on his touchdown to interception ratio as well. As it stands now, Eli has 360 touchdowns and 239 interceptions, giving him a 1.5 to 1 touchdown to interception ratio. Some of the greats at the quarterback position have had much better ratios, like Tom Brady for instance, who has a career ratio of 3 to 1. The good news for Eli is that Brett Favre's ratio is also 1.5 to 1, and we all know Favre made it into the Hall of Fame a few years ago. Although this all shouldn't go on the quarterback, you can argue that Manning has missed the playoffs more than he's made it. In his 14 seasons as the full-time starter, he's missed the playoffs in 8 times while making it in 6. It's not a terrible ratio, but you'd expect better from a guy who ranks as highly as Manning does in all-time passing metrics. The quote-unquote "what have you done for me lately" observers may look at Manning's 8-23 record over the past 2 seasons and not like what they see, but during his prime the Giants were almost always a 500 or better team. A large amount of the Giants being unsuccessful through 2013 to present day has to be put on ownership. Manning had monster statistical seasons from 2014 to 2015, but the Giants had an awful defense, causing them to win only 6 games in each season. So in conclusion, if it were up to me, Eli would get my vote to make it in. Based off his reliability, leadership, and outstanding playoff numbers, I'd like to see him make it. Without Eli Manning in the NFL, the Patriots may have had 8 Super Bowls in their last 9 appearances instead of 6. There will never be another guy like him, and it's sad to see his ability decrease in the last few seasons. Hopefully, in what's likely his last season, Manning can make the playoffs and end on a high note, although it's not the most likely outcome. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, let me know in the comments, and as always, I'll talk to you next time.